right, Thrivers, what's going on? My name is Daniel McKenna. This is Jason Stewart across the desk from me, and basically, we get on here whenever they leave the doors open to the building, and we just come in here and we record, and it only happens occasionally, but we're here, we're back, and we're ready to give you some very specific training. Today, we're talking about how to decide where to sell online. So it's kind of the goal is to equip you to be able to successfully sell your products online, but first, you got to know where you want to go to do that, right? Is that kind of the point?
That's the point, yeah.
Okay, so before we deep dive into this here, who is this going to be good for? Like, who are the customers or who are the people out there that are watching this saying, okay, I've got this product, this is what I need to sell online, now where do I go?
Well, this probably applies most to people that are not selling online yet.
Okay.
And they're wanting to get there.
Okay.
But if you have a store, maybe there's some nuggets of truth in here that will help you to make some changes.
Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump right into here. The point number one, I want to set up an online shopping cart to sell products online. How do I get started? So this is kind of the big overall question here, but where do we start on this path?
There's a lot to talk about today, but I'll start here. There's kind of three main ways to sell online. I'll break it down into three main categories. So one is to use an existing marketplace, and that's going to be like Amazon.com, eBay.com, Etsy.com. Those are three big examples.
Okay.
That's what we'll call a marketplace.
Okay.
The second way is to build and set up your own store. That's going to be custom software or using a plugin like WooCommerce, which is a WordPress plugin.
Okay.
That's kind of the second way, is to build it yourself. Mm-hmm. And the third way is what's called a hosted e-commerce platform.
Okay.
And that's going to be something like Shopify or BigCommerce.
Okay.
Those are really the three main ways to get online.
So these are the three different ways, and we're going to jump into each one of these ways, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so let's go ahead and jump straight into there, and we'll kind of figure out the differences as we go here. But what are the pros? We're going to go with the first option here, and I'm going to go with the Galaga level up here. Nice. What are the pros of selling Amazon.com, on Amazon.com, eBay.com, and Etsy.com, the marketplaces that already exist? What are the pros here?
Okay, let's hit the list here. So Amazon is a huge website, right?
Okay.
We have tens of millions of people that buy on Amazon on a daily basis.
Sure.
And so the major benefit there is you have a huge built-in customer base. And think about it this way: you're bringing your product to that existing marketplace, right?
Yeah.
So you're not having to create those customers. They've already done their job with brand building and advertising and SEO, and what you're doing is bringing your product to their platform.
Okay.
Okay. So the major benefit with Amazon, eBay, and Etsy is you're bringing your product to their platform, so they have a built-in customer base of millions of people.
People already know what it is.
They already know what it is. They've already gone through trust and confidence and all the things that it took to build that brand.
Okay.
You're bringing their product to that. So it'd be almost like if you walked into a Walmart or someplace like that and set your product on the shelf.
Okay.
Right? They've already built the store. They've already got their systems in place. You're just bringing your product to that environment.
You go to a Walmart to buy something.
Right.
So if the stuff is there, you assume that it's probably not the worst thing in the world, right?
Exactly. There's a vetting process there, and very similar with Amazon.
Okay.
So let's say the credibility and trust that's a big thing.
Okay. It's just built into the customer's mind.
Yeah, exactly. So they're on Amazon, eBay, or Etsy, for example, because they're actively looking for something. They're actively searching for products.
Okay.
So they're not going to be on Amazon and be surprised that they sell products. This is not a mystery, So you've got qualified customers that are ready to buy.
Okay.
Right? Mm-hmm. So on those kind of platforms, again, you're bringing your product to their marketplace. So there's a major benefit there, a major pro. Another major one is you can sell right away. So if you have a title, a price, a description, and some basic photography, it's a little more detailed than that, but that's the basics of what you need to sell online. You could get a product on Amazon very quickly.
Okay.
And you have to worry about fulfillment and things on the backside, but really you can get a product on Amazon, on eBay, or on Etsy in very little effort.
You can start selling pretty fast.
You can sell right away, and that's a major benefit.
You throw up some photos, you get a little bit of description in there of what you're talking about.
Right.
And you're ready to roll.
Exactly.
Okay.
So the upfront cost is really something to consider as well. On something like Amazon, Etsy, or eBay, the upfront cost is lower because you do not have to hire a developer. hire programmers, get the hosting set up. You don't have to worry about that stuff. They've already built that.
Okay.
So you're just leveraging their platform because they've already done the work.
Okay.
So they've already done SEO optimization. They're bringing people to the site. Again, you're bringing your product to their marketplace that they've already built. So the upfront cost is lower. So it's really about speed, right? It's about low upfront cost, and it's about getting in front of potentially millions of people very quickly.
And there's a lot of the nuances in there that's already built into it. You don't have to figure out how the shopping cart works. You don't have to figure out how all that. They take care of all that.
They have already done that work, so you're just essentially renting the system, if you will.
Okay, so those were the pros of selling on these marketplaces. So let's look at the cons. Let's look at the cons here. What are the cons? Do you like that one? Like that?
That was great.
That was pretty good. What are the cons of selling on these sites? Amazon, eBay, Etsy. What are what's the bad side?
So the big one is where you have lots of products and you have lots of customers looking.
Okay.
Those can actually work against you. So let me explain that. So if you have millions of products on Amazon, and that's why it's successful, is it has millions of products.
There's millions, yeah.
There is a lot of competition, right? And so let's say you're selling a particular, a particular kind of phone, like a smartphone.
Sure.
Well, chances are that same smartphone is already for sale. If you're just a reseller, it's already for sale on Amazon.
Right.
So it forces you, the con of that is it forces you you have to compete on price. Does that make sense?
Because you're selling what everybody else is already selling.
If you're selling the same thing, now you have to compete in a different way.
Okay.
If you're selling a unique product that no one else has, if it's something you've made, then it's a little bit different scenario.
Okay.
At that, your problem then in that kind of situation is how do you bring awareness to your product? Because if people don't know they're looking for it, they're not going to find it.
Sure.
So those are just things you have to think out.
Okay.
One of the major cons is there's a lot of competition, so you have to be very competitive in your pricing strategy. You have to get really good at tagging your product so it's found, right? That's just how do you describe it?
Sure.
The words you use, the photography you use, those are things you need to really think about. Another one is you really need to know your cost. You really need to know your margins. So if you're on Amazon, for example, you see free shipping a lot. So you really need to know, can I afford for my price point to include free shipping? That's something you really need to think about. So there are fees as well to think about on Amazon.
Because Amazon gets a cut.
They get a cut.
You're using their giant billion-dollar system.
Right.
They get a cut of what you're doing.
Yeah, they are. It's not just because they're nice guys.
Sure.
They may be great guys, but they want a cut.
Yeah.
So you have to account for that in your margins. You have to be prepared with your numbers.
Same thing with eBay. Same thing with Etsy.
Exactly.
Okay.
They are essentially a middleman. So you're paying a premium, if you will, for them having developed that service, that system, that technology. Essentially think about it as you're renting that space.
Okay.
So there are definitely fees associated with that. Another major con that a lot of people don't think about on Amazon, in particular Amazon, is there are definite limits on the customer relationship that you have with your customer. If I'm selling a product, I want to develop a relationship with my customer because there's long-term value in that relationship.
Yeah.
I want to upsell. I want to cross-sell. I want a repeat buy.
Sure.
That's a big deal. The lifetime value of a customer is extremely important. And so if you put on Amazon, you're extremely limited by how much marketing and relationship building you can do with that customer.
Sure.
Amazon considers them their customer. You may think they're your customer, but really what you're doing is selling a product through their brand. You really need to keep that in mind. So if your goal, if your business model is based on developing a relationship, you're at a big disadvantage on something like Amazon. Just keep that in mind.
So give me an example and give the people at home an example here of what this all means, because I'm getting what you're talking about, these customer relationships.
Right.
But if you are, for instance, I was on Amazon sometime last week, late last week, and I got some phone chargers, phone charging cords. And like you said, I got on there and there's like 50 different options.
Right.
And there's different colors and there's different sizes. But at the end of the day, they're all the same thing.
Right.
And so how do I choose? Well, I don't go with the cheapest one because I feel like, well, that's probably going to break.
Right.
I don't go with the most expensive one because I was like, there's a lot of ones that aren't that expensive.
Yeah.
So then I'm just kind of almost randomly on a whim choosing that one.
Right.
And I have no idea who I bought it from.
Yeah.
And I have no intention of ever going to find out who that person is and trying to buy more stuff from them.
That's true.
So that's what you're talking about.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. So in that case, you need good reviews.
Okay.
So you need to deliver your product on time. You need to do what you say you're going to do. You need good, positive reviews. That's one way you can differentiate yourself.
Okay.
But just to give you an example of the cross-sell or the upsell is, let's say you buy a computer, and then there's an accessory that, like a case or something else for the computer. Well, the upsell there is, buy this $100 case or whatever for your phone or your computer, whatever it is. Well, just because you're selling that computer and you're the provider for that equipment doesn't mean you're getting the upsell. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because they'll easily promote an upsell of a totally different vendor.
Just things that are related to the thing that they're buying.
And it's to their advantage that they upsell and they get that cut.
Right.
So, but if you were selling on your own site, for example, you offer your own upsell. You're in control of that. So when I say customer relationship, that's what I'm talking about. It's just developing those kind of long-term relationships, long-term value. Okay.
So let's say then that if I said that, okay, I've heard the pros, I've heard the cons. Now we're going to get into, this is a good thing. This is good for me. I want to get up and sell fast. I don't want to have to worry about all the headaches, everything else about trying to get my product there and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have to worry about delivering the product, but I don't have to worry about taking credit cards and all the stuff that comes with it that people don't maybe think about.
Yeah.
If I choose to sell on an existing marketplace, what's the differentiators here of the big ones? Like how should I choose which one to use?
Well, I'm gonna stereotype. I'm gonna paint with a broad brush here.
Okay, sure.
So let's start with Amazon. They're the world's, at the time of this recording anyway, the world's largest online retailer.
And we are recording in the year 2050.
Nice. Are we?
Well, I mean, this content doesn't get old.
We look good.
I mean, we look pretty good. This is advanced content that you're seeing right now. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So Amazon is huge. You've shopped on Amazon. Most of the customers out there have shopped on Amazon.
Sure.
So Amazon brings with it an expectation that they're going to sell new products, usually for a lower price than retail, and usually with free shipping or discounted shipping.
Absolutely.
And what I mean is a customer has that expectation in their mind that if I'm going to buy on Amazon, I'm not going to get a used product. I'm going to get a new product. It's going to come in some kind of box, package, and I'm probably going to get a better price, hopefully, and I'm probably going to get free shipping. So you need to build in that expectation into your pricing model.
Absolutely.
That's kind of the big idea for Amazon. But again, new products, low pricing, free shipping. That's kind of their thing.
Yep.
eBay is a little different. So if you talk to eBay, people that have used eBay or find out what their perception is of eBay, some people kind of think it's like a garage sale.
Right.
Right? It's like a swap meet.
Right.
And it very much was for a long time. Now you can get new products on eBay. It's definitely possible. But they still have this sort of reputation as sort of an online swap meet, sort of online garage sale.
Sure.
It's used products. Typically, it's really niche or specialty kind of, vintage collectibles and unique products you can't get anywhere else. And by the way, if you buy that one, whatever it is, a vintage guitar, whatever it is, they're probably not going to have a lot of those, right? So you're bidding for that one.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a different model.
Sure.
It's a different model. But if that works for your products, then go for it. It's a huge marketplace, millions of users. The other one, let's just pick Etsy, for example. Etsy's kind of a sort of a newcomer compared to Amazon and compared to eBay. But Etsy's really known for handcrafted, handmade kind of goods.
Okay.
And
I'm weaving my own bracelets.
Yeah, and I know you do.
I do.
You really ought to consider Etsy.
A lot of baskets.
Yeah. Your hats are awesome.
I haven't sold any of them.
Okay. Etsy.
Oh, really?
Check it out.
Okay.
Handmade, crafted, niche, specialty kind of designer products. Yeah. That's really what they've become known for.
Sure.
And so, price, for example, is not necessarily as big a deal on Etsy. I'm stereotyping here.
Sure.
I'm painting with a broad brush. But if I really want that handmade good, I'm willing to pay the price for it. So all I'm saying is you really need to think about what is your product, what is your customer, and which one of those platforms does it fit?
Yeah.
Because you may need to be on Etsy and not on Amazon. You just really need to work out the pros and the cons there.
Yeah, one of our Thrive mentors, she got started by doing things on Etsy.
Yeah.
And then she started gaining a following on Etsy because they were like handmade, unique things. They weren't like the Amazon things where you're just the middle guy just buying something, trying to sell it cheap, and hopefully you sell a ton of them, right?
Right.
Etsy, there are a lot of them, like you said, unique, handmade, special type stuff, right? And she built a following because of all of her stuff. People really liked her stuff. And she turned that into a blog, and then she turned that into a blog with tons of endorsements. And now she's killing it.
Yeah.
Like she's working with Disney Kids, she's working with Crew, she's working with all these big brands that started with Etsy.
That's smart. That's cool.
Yeah, it worked that way. So, okay, so those are the 3 to choose from, kind of the big names anyway, for the existing marketplace, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Existing marketplace. Okay, so don't go anywhere. We're going to come right back. We're going to talk about that second option there, which is building your own software, the custom software built into your own site. And I'm excited. We're going to go ahead and play. Let's see. We're going to play some of this as we kind of. Me and Jason are just going to be rapping here.
Nice.
And while you guys are waiting in between things, we're going to be just listening to Juicy. And we'll be right back.